look at from the beginning to even currently, sports is controlled violence, essentially. You're in an arena, you have a set of rules, you have a ball, you have gloves, you have helmets, you have equipment, whatever you have, but there is either, whether it's team or individual, there's rules of engagement, there's, penalties for not adhering to said rules, there's scorekeeping, all of those things. So it's kind of like makeshift war, for lack of a better way of putting it. Like the Romans had the Colosseum, it's still pretty much the same thing. Like the Olympics is an ancient concept in and of itself. Instead of two countries going to war, they'd send their best athletes. And the athletes would compete, and the country that won, that set of athletes that won would represent their country. And their country would have pride and advantage over the losing country. It was much better to send, 50 athletes than 5,000 troops to die. And it's the same type of scenario. It's so funny how violence has become so lame and uncool, but it seems to be happening more frequently everywhere you look. That's very interesting. I think they're trying to soften people up so they're easier to beat up. That's just my opinion on things. But
this supposed to be fun and light.
To each his own, like I said, but
it's fun and light topic.
That's not heavy.
Okay,
beating people. We're talking about sports. You can't have sports.
Okay, go ahead. There's show.
There's a whole sport dedicated to.
Let's bring it back.
Sure.
So your question in the beginning was,
why aren't women more into sports if women want men and men aren't?
That is a good question. So, and I guess I'm the wrong person to ask because I am into sports, right? Yeah, I'm into a lot of sports. But I was into a lot of sports because I myself am competitive, right? I understood the value that sports brought to my life. So I played sports and I watched sports. Track and field actually was the biggest sport. Track and field is huge in my country, Jamaica, right? It's a big thing in my country. And so I grew up running. I've been running since I was 3 years old, all the way up until the end of high school, I was running. So for me, I knew what sports would bring to my life. I didn't need anybody to tell me, and I wanted to be active. We also come from a generation that, again, you didn't have a phone, and you didn't sit around all day doing nothing, just being on your phone 24/7. You were outside. And being part of a team sport actually even gave you more advantage at school. There was a certain type of rep that you had when you were part of the basketball team or the volleyball team or the baseball team or the track team, and there was awards you could win, and I knew what that meant. So for me, that was amazing. And funny enough, the guys who did sports also used to date the girls who were also on a sports team.